we're into this week's GTA Online weekly update with a new vehicle, and that is the Canis Castigator. So let's get into it. So this is based on the Jeep Avenger, and there are things about this that I like and things about this that I don't like. So the Jeep Avenger itself is a bit of a soft roader, you know, one of these school run kind of cars. But what is the deal with this scale? I mentioned this about the Yosemite. I mean, this thing is tiny. You could get it in your eye and not know it was there. It just seems like a strange trend at the moment. You know, you got things like the Taipan that you can see from space, and then some of the new cars seem to be really, really tiny. So yeah, strange trend. It's not the end of the world, but it's, you know, worth noting. So, as I said, there are things I like about this and things that I don't. So as usual, I'll get my complaining out of the way first. And the first issue, in a way, is the customization. Now, there's actually quite a lot, but the customization is very odd. It almost seems like two departments in Rockstar had a bit of an argument, and one side wants us to give us the Trackhawk, and the other side wants us to give us something that kind of belongs in Jurassic Park, and neither side really won, and we kind of got the worst of both. You know, all we got from the Trackhawk was the fuel economy, and all we got from Jurassic Park was this line.
It's a Unix system.
So yeah, it has some really odd customization options, some really strange, really out there bull bars. So if that's your thing, you know what, knock yourself out, you're going to have a load of fun with it. But I just thought a lot of the customization on this was a little bit odd. So getting it out on the road, it actually handles reasonably well. It's a little bit tail happy, but the handling itself is not too bad. The strangest part is it doesn't really understeer as such, but it does seem really reluctant to turn in. So you have to be quite heavy-handed with it when you're driving it, and that actually makes it quite a lot of fun to drive. Speed-wise, the takeoff is good. Then it seems to bog down a little bit, but then it really builds up speed well. So I'm actually expecting quite a good lap because it genuinely does feel really fast. However, when you get up to speed, that does lead to another problem with this car, which I've already kind of alluded to with the scale issue, and that's the weight of this thing. I swear I've done farts that weigh more than this. So anything will throw it off. If you hit a street lamp, if you slightly clip another car, it will throw you way off course, and that problem only gets worse if you take this thing off-road. Which leads me to the next section. Because this is a soft-roader, and in real life soft-roaders do occasionally drive through puddles, I thought I'd do the school run across the map in this thing. So after we take off from the facility, in places it feels really fast, and in places it feels really good, but it's so light it gets thrown around everywhere, and that really did affect the lap time. Especially as the way I built it, because I was building this for the road, I left the original wheels on, because I quite like the original wheels, and that led to a relatively mediocre lap. So what I did, I took it back into LS Customs, and I put some off-road wheels and tyres on. And before I show you what it did then, I just want to give a shout out to my new members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Legends, every one of you. Absolutely love you to bits. And I also need to give a bit of a shout out to Savage Goose, who went through my across the map race and trashed my record in the Night Shark. So he managed to get that round in 3:06, which is a really, really good time. So well done there, Savage Goose, you did a great job. And while we're on the subject, we are getting really close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I am going to do that giveaway at 1,000 subs. So tell your friends to subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe yourself. Drop a comment in, because anyone that's commented on the last 10 videos before I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark will go into a pot to be part of the t-shirt giveaway that I'm going to do as soon as that counter ticks over to 1,000. So back to the plot. The first across the map was 3 minutes 13 seconds, and I knew this car could do better, so I wheeled it into Los Santos Customs, stuck a set of off-road wheels on, and with these I got a 3:06, which is actually a really solid time for an across the map. Now the only thing I will say for that is it is still a bloody handful because it's just too light. The handling off-road is really, really tricky at speed, though I do admit, if you're off-roading at a sensible speed, which I did do a little bit of, it's much less of a problem. So, back to the lap and the speed test. As for all of these reviews that I do a measured mile as fast as possible, then I do a little bit of simple maths. That gives you an accurate, achievable top speed through traffic. And this is what the Castigator managed to do. So what are my final thoughts and the final review? Well, at 1.6 million, it's not a rip-off. It's not cheap, but it kind of feels about right for cars in GTA Online at the moment. It's perfectly capable on-road and off-road, and it also looks quite reasonable. So, if you're in the market for a small off-roader, then I can thoroughly recommend the Night Shark. Seriously, it's cheaper, it's armoured, it has guns, and as Savage Goose has already proven in this video, it's just as fast. So, if you already have the Night Shark and you like the look of this, then go for it. It's not a bad car at all, it's actually quite a nice car, I quite like it, I'm glad I've got it. But if you don't have the Night Shark, I can't possibly recommend spending 1.6 million on this when you can spend 1.2 million on the Night Shark and get everything that this does, but with guns and armour. Here's the time it managed to do. And here's where it sits on the lap board. So on that bombshell, as they say, I hope that was useful. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.